The combat bay on Concord Orbital Station Theta. 9 was cold, silent, and gleaming with sterile efficiency. Rows of alien cadets stood at rigid attention on the polished durasteel floor, their eyes scanning the white-lit chamber, then flicking to the single figure pacing in front of them. She was small, especially compared to the towering Vernac, the four-legged Drill, or the broad-shouldered Loxery, but not a single cadet missed the way she moved. Calm, balanced, centered, like a coiled predator. Sergeant Alina Reyes. Human, Deathworlder. Rumors had spread long before her arrival that she came from a planet where oxygen levels dropped without warning, that her species had survived firestorms, acidic rain, apex predators with teeth like blades, that she once killed a plains beast with her bare hands. Some cadets scoffed. Others watched her like prey, sensing a silent ambush. Alina stopped in front of them, hands clasped behind her back. Her uniform was simple, gray combat fatigues, sleeves rolled up, forearms knotted with muscle and scar tissue. Her head was shaved, her face unreadable. She looked up. Form 7. Neutralization hold. None moved. A few exchanged glances. One Drill male tilted his ridged head in confusion. The protocol translation lagged by half a second. Form 7? Alina sighed softly. Pair up. You have 2 minutes. They hesitated, then began moving into pairs, some muttering in thick, untranslated dialects. The Drill fumbled with his claws, tried to mimic a humanoid stance. A Vernac adjusted its armored chest plate. In the back, a massive Loxery stood motionless, arms folded. He wasn't pairing up. Cadet Threx, Alina said without raising her voice. You'll need a partner. Threx Varl grinned. His fangs flashed under pale gray lips. His 4 arms remained crossed. I'll wait until it's worth my time. A few snickers rolled through the room. One cadet quickly smothered his. Alina walked over, slowly. Her boots made no sound on the floor. Is there a problem? Threx towered over her, nearly 3 meters tall, armored from neck to thigh. You're going to show me how to fight? Alina looked him up and down. I'm going to teach you how not to die when someone stronger, faster, and smarter puts you on the floor. You think that's you? No, she said. I know. The room stilled. Even the air system seemed quiet. You're not impressing anyone with your legends, Threx sneered. I don't believe them. Earth can't be that bad. Alina didn't respond. She simply turned back toward the center of the room. We'll start with basic limb control. Opponent grabs your wrist. She stopped mid-sentence. Behind her, Threx had moved, fast, quietly for his size. He reached out and grabbed her arm, tight, flesh to bone, dominance in every inch of pressure. You mean like this? It was meant to be a joke, a demonstration, a challenge. His expression said it all. Let's see the Deathworlder dance. What followed happened in less than a second. Alina's body shifted. Her weight dropped. One boot slid back. Her arm twisted. Not a pull free, but an anchor, and her other hand came up in a sudden, fluid arc, snapping across Threx's elbow joint with clinical precision. The sound was sickening. Crack! Threx roared. His lower right arm bent backwards. Completely wrong. Flesh tore. Bones cracked. The silence that followed was absolute. Alina let go. Stepped back. Threx dropped to one knee, clutching his ruined limb. His breath came in short, stunned bursts. He looked up at her, wild disbelief in his eyes. You grabbed me, she said flatly. No emotion, no gloating, just a fact. A med drone, silent until now, detached from the wall and hovered down, emitting a faint chime as it scanned the damage. Surgical tools deployed midair. Cadets stared. Some took a half step back from her. Others said nothing, eyes wide. Jethry, a slim insectoid cadet, muttered something in his native tongue. The translator struggled. She moved like a knife. No one laughed. No one argued. Alina turned to class. If you don't understand the technique, ask. If you don't understand the danger, leave. She didn't look at Threx again. He didn't speak. 15 minutes later, the training resumed, awkwardly, haltingly. Cadets mimicked her demonstration. Slower this time, more precise. The room was quiet. Alina moved among them like a shadow, adjusting postures, correcting angles. She offered no further warnings. She didn't need to. Threx was wheeled out unconscious, his brace humming with nanite injectors. Up in the observation deck, 3 Concord counselors watched through a reinforced glass viewport. Did she overreact? Asked the soft-voiced Kalari diplomat. She showed restraint, replied Commander Harris without blinking. He's lucky he still has the arm. The drill official muttered, "Why did we agree to train with Deathworlders again?" Harris didn't look away. "Because if they're not on our side, we're going to need a lot more med drones." The tribunal chamber wasn't designed for comfort. Stone gray walls, no chairs, and a raised central platform made sure everyone remembered one thing. Authority watched from above. Alina stood in the center under a conical beam of light. Her hands were behind her back, boots planted, eyes fixed straight ahead. She didn't fidget. She didn't explain herself. She didn't need to. Above her, 3 Concord counselors reviewed the playback. A transparent hollow projection looped the incident again and again. Threx Varl grabbing her arm, her pivot, the sharp break at his elbow. The Loxary's roar echoed in the sterile room. "Pause," said the Loxary representative, his voice tight. Counselor Arvik, tall and armored in ceremonial scales. "This is an unprovoked maiming." Alina didn't respond. Neither did the playback. Counselor Nyari, a drill with folded limbs and a waxy voice, turned her angular eyes toward Alina. Was there another course of action? "Yes," Alina said. He could have listened. A quiet murmur ran through the viewing gallery. Dozens of officers, observers, and analysts were watching this. Most had never seen a human in person. Fewer had seen one fight. Commander Harris stepped forward from perimeter, hands behind his back. "Counselors, the footage speaks for itself." Cadet Threx ignored a direct order. He initiated physical contact with a Deathworlder trained in survival response combat. Sergeant Reyes reacted proportionately. "Proportionately?" Arvik hissed. "His arm is destroyed." "And still attached," Alina said flatly. Counselor Venn, the Kalari in the center, raised a long-fingered hand. The room quieted. "Sergeant Reyes," he said slowly, "we understand that your reflexes are conditioned, but you are here to train cadets, not cripple them." Alina lifted her gaze. "Where I'm from, when someone grabs you like that, they don't stop until you're dead." I held back. A pause followed. Commander Harris stepped forward again. Perhaps context is needed. "Proceed," Van nodded. Harris turned slightly toward the crowd. Alina Reyes was born in the Amazon Basin Recovery Zone, Earth, post-blackout. "Explain," Nyari said. "The orbital blackout after the 4056 solar flare. Earth's power grid failed for months. No external support. Entire regions went dark. She survived that period as a child. Alone. Terrain was unstable. Apex predators active, oxygen thin from bio-collapse events." Alina didn't interrupt. She'd heard it all before. She lived it. "She was found at age 10, Harris continued. Built her own shelter. Was hunting. Her first words to rescue were, 'You're late.' That drew a few raised brows. Arvik grunted. "So she's feral. That's your defense." "She's alive," Harris said, "which is more than I can say for most of her district. She's also passed every Concord training course at record pace, including multi-species engagement. She broke a Loxary noble's arm," Arvik snapped, "and spared his life," Alina said. Silence. Counselor Venn leaned forward. "What do you think we fear about your kind, Sergeant?" Alina considered the question. "That will remind you what survival really looks like." The tribunal chamber was quiet, cold, watching. "She's dangerous," Arvik finally said. "She's a liability." "Then make your ruling," Harris said, "but make it with full knowledge. If you cut her, you're not just dismissing one soldier. You're cutting off an entire species from Concord service. This program is under scrutiny. You dismiss her, and you'll have to explain why humans aren't allowed to defend your space alongside you." Nyari hissed something under her breath. Ven looked down at Alina. Sergeant, final question. Yes, counselor. If this happens again? Alina's voice was steady. Then someone didn't learn the first time. Hours later, she was back in the training corridor. Same gleaming walls. Same silence. Only this time, the cadets didn't whisper. They watched her like she was a razor with a pulse. Jethry, the insectoid, approached cautiously, multiple eyes blinking in sequence. You were not removed? No. Alina said, Why? She tightened her wrist straps. Because I did my job. Jethry tilted his head. You broke his arm. He broke the rules. You could have warned him. I did. Jethry considered that, then buzzed softly in amusement. Would you spar with me? Alina raised a brow. You sure? He nodded. I move fast. So do I. They faced off in the center mat. The rest of the cadets formed a loose circle, watching silently. Alina didn't posture. She didn't speak. She just observed. Jethry moved first, a darting lunge, agile and light, trying to tap her shoulder with his spine forelimb. She flowed sideways, redirecting his energy, spinning him without force. He landed with a soft thud, unharmed. He clicked in surprise. Again, Alina extended her hand, with control this time. He took it. They trained for the next 30 minutes in near silence. Jethry learned quickly. The others watched even more carefully. Near the exit, Threx appeared. One arm brace in a high-tech sling, posture stiffer, quieter. He didn't interrupt. He didn't speak. Alina noticed, but didn't acknowledge him. The lesson ended with a short bow. Same time tomorrow, she said, stepping off the mat. Will you be leading again? Jethry asked. Alina looked him straight in the eyes. Until someone stops me. The following day, the training chamber felt different. No snickering. No smug glances. The air had thickened with quiet wariness. Cadets entered with less swagger and more focus. Alina Rhea stood alone on the mat, rolling out her shoulders beneath a thin layer of sweat-darkened fabric. No fanfare. No speeches. Jethry approached first, nodding once. Shall we begin? Form 12. Alina replied, stepping into stance. They moved, slow at first. Fluid. Controlled. Jethry's insectoid frame clicked softly as he adjusted his limbs. Alina countered each shift with precision, never overextending. When she demonstrated a pin, she guided him to the floor like a teacher, not a threat. Across the room, the others watched, some copying movements on their own, some still unsure. Then the door slid open. Threx entered. He no longer looked amused. His dominant arms hung loosely by his sides. The lower right was cradled in a skeletal brace, humming with medical pulses. His eyes scanned the room before locking on Alina. He didn't speak. He didn't sneer. He took a place against the wall and watched. Alina said nothing. She wasn't interested in his pride. What mattered now was the training. One by one, cadets came forward to spar. A drill, a vernac, a timid scari. She guided them, corrected them, forced them to respect balance over brute force. She didn't show off. She taught. And then the lights flickered. A sharp buzz vibrated the floor. The hum of energy panels stuttered. Overhead, the recessed lights blinked out one by one, replaced by cold red emergency strobes. A metallic voice cracked over station-wide PA. Alert! Unidentified vessel approaching Theta 9. Breach imminent. All personnel to lockdown protocol. The cadets froze. Another voice cut in. Live. Urgent human. This is security command. Multiple unauthorized boarding signatures detected. We are under attack. Repeat. This is not a drill. Alina was already moving. She crossed the training mat, keyed open a secured weapons locker behind a mirrored panel. Inside were emergency loadouts, shock batons, neurosuppressors, basic armor kits. She tossed one to Jethry, then turned to the others. Gear up. No one argued. What's happening? One cadet asked. Someone's coming in hot. Alina said, strapping on her chest plate. Probably pirates. Maybe mercs. Doesn't matter. We're not combat ready. Another drill stammered. Then stay behind me. Move when I move. Shoot when I say. She checked the room, all 12 cadets still present. Threx stepped forward. You expect us to follow you? Alina pulled a pulse pistol from the locker and tossed it to him, without looking. No, I expect you to survive. That starts with shutting up and doing what works. His arms tense around the weapon. He didn't argue. The chamber doors opened to a corridor bathed in red. The distant thud-thud of hull charges echoed down the steel passage. Somewhere above, plasma fire barked against reinforced glass. Alina jogged, eyes scanning every corner. Keep tight formation. Eyes up, safety off. They turned a corner and found it, a breech door halfway torn open, still hissing sparks. On the other side, movement, shapes stepping through the smoke. The attackers wore hardened vacuum armor, matte black with red-tinted visors. No insignia, no known faction. Strike team, Alina muttered. Not pirates, mercs. The front one raised his weapon, too slow. Alina fired. 2 plasma shots hit center mass before the man could aim. He dropped hard. Engage, she barked. The cadets scattered instinctively, finding cover where they could. Jethry ducked under a panel. The drill braced against the left bulkhead, firing wild. The Scari froze. Alina surged forward, sliding on one knee, firing from cover. Another merc fell. She didn't pause. Scari, on me, she snapped. Move or die. That got him moving. He scrambled behind her as 2 more mercs breached the doorway. A grenade rolled in. Alina snatched it mid-bounce, flung it back. The detonation was muffled by a dying scream. Threx, flank left. Take the corner. Threx didn't hesitate this time. He moved, sweeping cover with clean bursts. A merc went down, his first confirmed hit. Clear. Jethry clicked. Move corridor fast. They advanced as one now, ducking fire, responding to orders without hesitation. For the first time, they acted like a unit. Alina led them toward the secondary command corridor. Along the way, they passed bodies, Concord security, overrun, blood, scorch marks, a sense of real war clinging to every surface. This isn't just a raid, Jethry said, panting. They're hunting something. Us, Alina answered, or the data systems behind that door. She pointed to the fortified security node 2 junctions ahead. Alina sprinted. Behind her, her cadets followed, no longer questioning, no longer doubting, just surviving. Together, the team reached the outer bulkhead of security node just as the lights flickered again. A moment later, the emergency power kicked in, barely. The corridor dimmed to a hellish glow, red pulses echoing like heartbeats through the metallic walls. Alina Reyes signaled for silence, then crouched near the reinforced door panel. Jethry knelt beside her, antennae twitching. 3 heat signatures inside. Not friendly. Copy, Alina whispered. Override ready? I can bypass the lock, but the moment I do, they'll know. She nodded. Then we hit fast. Jethry on breach. Drill twins on crossfire. Threx rear angle. I go center. Don't shoot unless I move first. No arguments. The door slid open with a mechanical snarl. The first merc didn't even get a chance to lift his rifle. Alina shot twice, torso, head. He dropped. The second spun with a shout, opening fire, but Threx's shots caught him in the side, blowing him back over a terminal. The third tried to run. Alina caught him at the doorway, slammed him into the wall, and jammed her elbow into the back of his helmet until he crumpled. Silence. The cadets swept through, weapons raised. Clear, someone shouted. Jethry moved a console. They tried hacking this. Crew job. Lucky for us. Can you lock the rest of the station? Negative, he said quickly. But I can delay the corridor doors, trap them room by room. Do it. We need to hold this node until backup arrives. Assuming it ever does. Alina looked at the sealed terminal at the far end of the room. It was humming, low, deep. Something critical sat behind it. She approached the console, punch in her override, and the display lit up in blue and white. Security Black Vault access. Level 7 clearance required. She frowned. Why would Mercs hit a training station for a Black Vault? Jeffrey tilted his head. I thought those were for war protocols. They are. Tactical fail-safes. Classified AI defense logic. Nuclear fallback maps. Humanity has 5 in orbit. Concord lets us hide them in exchange for our Tekken soldiers. She looked over her shoulder. And this vault shouldn't be here. Threx stepped forward, silent for a moment. Someone planted it. Or someone wanted it found. Alina muttered. Before anyone could respond, the walls trembled. A loud boom echoed through the floors. Drill 2 looked up. Explosives. They're breaching toward us, Jeffrey said. Estimated 5 minutes, tops. Seal the doors, Alina ordered. Lay suppression charges at the entrance. Set a fallback point behind that vault housing. The cadet sprang into motion. In the brief lull, Threx approached her. Reyes. She glanced at him. He hesitated. Back in the chamber? I misjudged you. I notice. He nodded once. You're no ordinary human. She gave a half-smile. I'm from Earth. That used to mean nothing. Now, people either want us trained or gone. Threx's tusks clicked softly. And here we are. A sudden buzz at the console interrupted them. Jeffrey turned. Incoming transmission. Local. It's encrypted human military code. Patch it through. The screen flickered. A male face appeared, battle-worn, blood trailing down his forehead. Reyes? Lieutenant Cade. I've got 8 survivors pinned near subcommand. They're targeting all human instructors. You were marked. Get out if you can. She leaned forward. We've got the Black Vault. Cade's eyes widened. Then they're not just mercs. That vault carries AI overrides and drone swarm failsafes for 3 Concord colonies. If they crack it, they won't. A deafening explosion rattled the walls. Gotta go. Cade snapped. Reyes. Don't let them breach. You know what that vault can do. The screen cut. Alina turned to her cadets. All right, we hold. No matter what. The drills were unusually quiet. Jeffrey adjusted his rifle. What if they get past? They won't, she said simply. The first blast hit the main door moments later. The suppression charges triggered, sending fire into the corridor. Screams followed. Then came the breach gas, thick, pressurized foam seeping under the door's edges, sizzling on contact with air. Gas mask protocol. Alina ordered. They pulled their masks on just as the outer door was torn open. Mercenaries flooded the room. 4, then 5, then 10, sweeping in with automatic plasma rifles. Fall back. Return fire. The cadets didn't need encouragement. Bolts of plasma fire crossed the chamber. Jeffrey took down one enemy with a burst to the chest. Threx moved like a wall, pushing the line backward, firing with precise control. Alina grabbed a downed Merc's armor plate and flung it toward the gas port. It jammed, blocking the flow. She turned, ducked a shot, rolled, came up behind 2 attackers, and took them both out with surgical precision. Even as one of the cadets screamed. Hit in the leg, they didn't break. Another wave entered. Too many, someone shouted. Defensive line behind the vault. Alina ordered. They fell back. Pulse fire seared past her shoulder. A merc took aim. And then Threx tackled him, body slamming the intruder against a pillar. The merc's head cracked against steel. Threx stood, armor scorched, chest heaving. They do not pass. The vault door began to pulse. Jeffrey's voice rose with panic. They triggered an override attempt. Alina moved without thinking. She sprinted to the console, grabbed the manual detonation trigger, and armed it. Jeffrey's eyes widened. You can't blow it. I can if it means stopping them. She turned back to the team. We hold. They're not taking this vault. If they breach, I blow it. Understand? Threx looked her in the eye. Understood. The cadets took up position again. Burned. Bleeding. Some trembling. Still ready. No one blinked when the next charge hit the wall. They were all Deathworlders now. The walls buckled. Alina didn't flinch. A final blast hit the outer corridor, shaking the vault chamber. Smoke gushed in. The air was thick with ozone and burnt polymer. The mercs were preparing one last push, and everyone knew it. Jethry crouched beside the vault console, fingers flying. They're seconds from cracking the first encryption layer. How many seconds? Alina asked. 13. She raised the detonator. Call it 10. Threx limped over, a dark smear of blood trailing down his leg. You sure? I'm not losing the station. Or those keys. The Drill twins took position at either side of the vault. Their eyes were bloodshot, breathing ragged, but their rifles were steady. Jethry's voice rose. 9 seconds. Alina's thumb hovered over the trigger. Then, her comm crackled. This is Command Shuttle Ironwind. Confirm status. Do you hold the vault? Alina answered without turning. Not for long. We're surrounded. For cadets alive. Vault's hot. A pause. Static. Then, hold 5 more seconds. You'll hear thunder. What? The ceiling shuddered. A roar split the air like a rip in the sky. Then it hit. A piercing beam of energy tore through the upper decks. Not from the mercs. From orbit. The entire ceiling above the corridor collapsed in molten steel, flattening 2 squads of hostiles instantly. The shockwave smashed half the room's displays. The vault itself held. So did the cadets. Alina stood slowly, ears ringing. Her first thought, not a Concord weapon. The Ironwind dropped into view outside the blast hole, its hull scorched and scorched again. Engines whined at full throttle. Grapple cables swung down, and a side hatch opened midair. Extraction now, a voice barked. Alina didn't hesitate. Move. She hoisted the injured cadet, Nico, over her shoulder. The Drills carried Jethry between them. Threx covered their retreat, walking backward toward the lift cable with a rifle in each hand. They rose into the shuttle under fire, though the remaining mercs had scattered in the chaos. Once inside, the hatch slammed shut. A medic rushed forward. That your blood or theirs? Alina dropped Nico gently on the floor, yanked off her helmet. Enough of both. The medic blinked. You're the one who snapped Aloxri's arm. She wiped soot from her face. He grabbed me. Hours later, the surviving cadets sat in the debrief chamber aboard the Ironwind. Clean clothes, med kits, rehydration patches. None of it fixed the weight in their eyes. A door slid open. Fleet Commander Mara, Eileen, stepped in. High brass, cold eyes, human, older, too many scars to count. Reyes, with me. Alina stood. No salute, just exhaustion. They walked down a narrow corridor toward the command deck. I've reviewed the footage, Mara said. You disobeyed a containment protocol. I saved the vault. You almost blew it up. I would have. You told me to hold 5 seconds. I did. They reached the observation bay. Glass wall, stars beyond. Mara crossed her arms. The vault was bait. Alina's jaw clenched. Excuse me? It wasn't supposed to be accessed. It was tagged. We wanted to see who would try. Alina stared at her. So my team was expendable? Not expendable, Mara said coolly. Proven. You didn't just pass the program. You defined it. There was a long silence. Alina looked out at the stars. For cadets died. I know. 3 others were wounded. I know. And the Concord's enemies now know we'll kill to keep our data safe. Mara turned to face her fully. That was the point. They needed to believe Deathworlders are exactly as terrifying as the rumors say. Alina didn't answer. After a moment, Mara added, We want you to lead the first multi-species response squad. Full command. Clearance to Death Protocol Alpha. Alina didn't move. You'll have orbital support, Mara continued. A new ship. Pick your crew. And if I refuse? Mara looked at her for a beat. You won't. Another long silence. Alina finally said, I want the ones who survived today. All of them. You'll have them. And I want the names of the mercs who made it out. Mara gave a slow nod. You'll have those too. Back in the crew quarters, the others were quiet. Alina walked in, dropped a small datapad onto the center table. Orders. We're being assigned a ship. Jeffrey looked up. Wait, we're... Squad Alpha. Mixed species clearance. You're promoted. So are the drills. Threx raised a brow. What about me? You're my second. He blinked, then nodded. We fly soon. We fly in 72 hours. There was a pause. Then Nico, the injured cadet, muttered, Is it weird I kind of want to rematch with those bastards? Threx grinned. Only if I get to break one this time. Alina allowed herself the smallest smile. They're afraid of us now, she said. Let's make sure they never forget why.